Okay. What's up, Thirst for Truth? Alright, why is... Oh, there we go. Alright, cool. Like, subscribe, and share. This will be an interesting little thing right here. Like my own video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and share. Check this out, though. Now, a lot of people spread a lot of misinformation and a lot of disinformation. I could name names. Probably should. Like Jan Irving. You know, he spreads a lot of misinformation. Just accusing people of things and being a troll doesn't mean you're doing good work or great work. If you just have a little database or a think tank full of accusations that you cannot prove, and you admit that you cannot prove them, well, then you're nothing more than a little gossiper. A gossiper who spreads rumors and misinformation. And then you get a conspiratarded viewpoint. And then you don't even know what's real or fake anymore. You can't even tell the difference between reality and fantasy. And that would make you a psychopath. So I'm going to show you what happens when you get a conspiratarded point of view. So this is an article I found. Heathen Woman. October 19, 2006. It's 2016. Order out of chaos magic. The Discordian... Cool. The Discordian origins of the alt-right. You guys love politics, right? Whether you're Republican... What is it? Republican or Democrat? What is that called? Republican. No, it's Democrat and what's the other one? It's Democrat and Republican. Well, what's the other one? Damn, I can't remember. But order out of chaos magic. The Discordian origins of the alt-right. Now watch what happens with these with this type of viewpoint. When you have this type of closed-minded view, also when you're just not funny, you just don't get it. I'm also going to show this video on the origins of occultic science and magic. Wow, my computer's slow. Ah, man. Alright, it's okay. Here we go. See, occult origin of mainstream physics and astronomy. I'll have to play around with the audio on this. Get the fucking soulless eyes on that guy. Occult origin of mainstream physics and astronomy. Oh, greatest lie in spirituality, the Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and occult knowledge documentary. And that's only 18 minutes long. And there's a picture of Goku on there. I'm definitely watching that. And I might even watch it this. So this only has 38 views. This was released about 2 years ago, last year. I'm going to read the premiere of the Church of the SubGenius documentary came out yesterday in Texas. And many people have already seen it 6 to a dozen times. That's how good it was. You lucky Yeti bastards have seen the Church of the SubGenius documentary. You've already seen it 10 times. You lucky sons of guns. The distribution for the Church of the SubGenius documentary is up for debates. There's only like one person who has a copy of it, of the movie. The conspiracy is holding it ransom, and they want specific amounts of time and money. Obviously, that's their business. So I'll read off that, but most importantly, I'm going to show you that this conspiratarded when you have what you think of Discordianism and the Church of the SubGenius when you have only skimmed the surface of it. It's the same thing with the flat earth. Same thing with the flat earth happens. What's up, MK Ultra and THC Lilith? You got MK Ultra and Lilith. Do flat earth believers accept there's more planets, stars outside of Earth? What do you mean by outside of Earth? I can see stars and certain very easy to tell the difference stars called planets. That's what mainstream heliocentrism calls them. It used to be called wandering stars. Ow. But yeah, what do you mean by outside of Earth? What's up, Eric? So you got 10 people watching. Cool. Now check this out. After I read off this, I'll read it right now. Okay. So this is what this is an article written by Bootylicious. No, I'm just kidding. Buddy Cook. I don't even know how to fucking say that. All right, here goes. Recently, I ended up on a crazy dot connecting mission. Let's see how good you connect these dots. Thanks to information presented to me by Hugh Wyatt Mann, after releasing my video on the alt-right and Eurasianism, which discusses how the new right and the trad workers party youth division called the Traditionalist Youth Network use the chaos symbol. Jesus loves you. We're using the chaos symbol. Oh, Trad Youth Org using the chaos sigil. Notice how Matt also uses sigils in his Jesus loves you sign. Sigil magic is a new major component of chaos magic. The chaos magicians believe that creating sigils with certain intent will magically bring about said intention. Close associates with the Trad Workers' Party and the alt-right in general is known anti-white psychopath Alexander Dugin. Dugin also totes the chaos symbol. Dugin has some other interesting associations, in particular with Richard Spencer of alt-right fame, as well as other major players. Dugin, Constantine, let's see, David Duke. No idea who the fuck these guys are. But it's very interesting. Just by reading conspiratarded opinions and viewpoints of a faith or of an organization or of a religion you know nothing about, this is what happens. This is the type of stuff that spews out of your mind. Here we find out more about Dugin's connections to chaos magic. The misanthropic ideas of British occultist and Satanist Aleister Crowley, death 1947, which also happens to be the origin of the year of the CIA, do, however, inform both the Duginist worldview and its contemporary praxis. Indeed, it is within the worldview of chaos magic specifically, which is a spawn of Crowley's Thelemic philosophy, where much of the paradoxes and seeming contradictions of the Duginist Welsh, I don't know, and especially in its fourth positionist catch-all of beyond right or left. Beyond right or left must be sought, since this is, whether explicitly articulated or not, the actual animating locus of the Duginist far-right praxis. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Beginning with its choice of symbolic, dear God, radial pattern and set behind a black background. This symbol by itself is alternatively referred to in chaos magic as the wheel of chaos, the symbol of chaos, arms of chaos, the arrows of chaos, the chaos star, the chaos cross, the chaos sphere, the symbol of 8. Somewhat reminiscent of the Thule Society and then Hitler's own appropriation of the swastika from the writings of the Theosophical Society founder H.P. Blavatsky, death 1891. Dugan derives his design from the popularizations of it made by Western chaos magicians during the 1970s and 1980s, who themselves appropriated it from the work of British science fiction and fantasy novelist Michael Moore Cock. Let's see here. For anyone not aware, Dugan was the founder of the National Bolshevik Party, which should be sending some red flags for you all. In the 22, by the way, this is the National Bolshevik Party. Bolshevik. National Bolshevik Party, also known as the Nazballs. Operated from 1993 to 2007, Russian political party with a political program. Pretty interesting stuff here. I mean, it's actually really boring. I don't even want to look into it, but you can. Go ahead. I just want to connect some dots, like this conspiratorial guy. He's connecting the dots. I'm going to disconnect the dots for you. In the 22 countries where Dugan's International Eurasian Youth Movement under pressure, including U.S., UK, Serbia, and Turkey, where there are fascist paramilitary defense leagues working in tandem with them. Gladio, anyone? In fact, the New Right also chose the chaos symbol to represent their movement. Coincidence? I think not. The New Right. Many on the New Right scene also embrace some dark magic, along with Dugan's vision of the future. Grinder Gretty, the New Right's favorite faggot, also has a special place for Crowley, the known homosexual and alleged child and animal rapist. Remembering Aleister Crowley, 12th, Greg Johnson. Aleister Crowley was an English poet, novelist, painter, and mountaineer who was most famous as an occultist, ceremonial magician, and founder of the religion and philosophy of Thelema. It's not a religion. It's more of a philosophy, but it's definitely not a religion. I mean, I know the basics of Thelema and Crowley's work, and I'm pretty sure Crowley never intended Thelema or people to be Thelemites or Crowleyans. He didn't want to have any followers. But ironically, Crowley's supposed Satanism and black magic are far less frightening to most people than his politics. For Aleister Crowley was also a man of the right. Although surprising numbers of Crowley's followers are conventional liberal humanists, those who actually grasp Crowley's destruction of liberal humanism usually end up on the right. Thus, Crowley inspired such important 20th century rightists and novelists and essayists, P.R. Stevenson, and military strategist, and blah, blah, blah. Now this is where it starts to get interesting. This is the point of what I wanted to show you, which is where it starts to get weird. Apparently, butt sex and orgies with animals is an important contribution to the New Right. He also mentions the philosophy of Thelema, which was Crowley's religion. See, this dude's totally off. Interestingly, August Sol Invictus. I got to do some research on this fella. I feel like I've done it before in the past, but I need to do it again. White advocate, lawyer, and red ice guest is a Thelemite. There is a major uproar from the public regarding his goat sacrificing ritual. I remember listening to a man's account of him sacrificing a goat, and a very OTO ritualistic chaos magic type of shit. And I was like, what the fuck? Who the hell is this fucking guy? It might be this guy. The religion of Thelema is based on the philosophical law of the same name, adopted as a central tenet by some religious organizations. The law of Thelema is, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love under will. Crowley and Thelema have been a huge inspiration for many people in the so-called counterculture, spawning many different magical movements. One of these offshoots was founded by a group of chaos magicians. The Church of the SubGenius is a parody religion that satirizes better-known belief systems. It teaches a complex philosophy that focuses on J.R. Bob Dobbs, purportedly a salesman from the 1950s who is revered as a prophet by the Church. SubGenius leaders have developed detailed narratives about Dobbs and his relationship to various gods and conspiracies. Their central deity, Jehovah One, is accompanied by other gods drawn from ancient mythology and popular fiction. SubGenius literature describes a grand conspiracy that seeks to brainwash the world and oppress Dobbs's followers. In its narratives, the Church presents a blend of cultural references and an elaborate remix of the sources. Here's a creepy TV commercial for the Church. That's Crowley. That's SubGenius artwork. Here's a TV commercial from the early 1990s that I won't play for you. That's very you can go type in SubGenius commercial on YouTube and find it yourself. It's very it's a commercial that was playing in the early 90s when the SubGenius material was running on MTV. Did you notice how they refer to people not in the church as normals? Interesting how the alt-right uses the term normies to refer to those not initiated into the cult of Kek. Also, did you notice how they are wearing the Nazi-looking armbands and they raise their right hands in a Sikh Hail fashion? The Church of the SubGenius' literature incorporates many aspects of conspiracy theories, teaching that there is a grand conspiracy at the root of all the lesser ones. It records that there are many UFOs, most of which are used by the conspiracy leaders to monitor humans, although a few contain extraterrestrials. In the Church's view, this conspiracy uses a facade of empowering messages but manipulates people so they become indoctrinated to its service. The group holds that the quality of slack is of utmost importance. It is never clearly defined. SubGenius members believe that those in the service of the conspiracy seek to bar them from slack, a quality promoted by the Church. Its teachings center on slack, always capitalized, which is never concisely defined except in the claim that Dobbs embodies the quality. Church members seek to acquire slack and believe that it will allow them the free, comfortable life without hard work or responsibility, which they claim is an entitlement. Sex and the avoidance of work are taught as the two key ways to gain slack. That, my folks, means that I am a horrible, horrible SubGenius. I do a great job. I just spent thousands of dollars going to a different state and graduating from the Earthship Academy in New Mexico after over a month's work of hard work, waking up at a tight schedule. No sex. So I mean, half of the fucking equation of me being a good SubGenius is maybe. So let's see here. Davoff believes that slack is the ability to effortlessly achieve your goals. Cusack states that the Church's description of slack as ineffable recalls the way that Tao was described, and Kirby casts slack as a unique magical system. The Slackware Linux distribution is also named after the tenet of slack. That's because there's SubGeniuses working in all computer hardware and software factories and buildings. This video from the Church explains what slack is and why it is important. In the comments section of this video, we find this peculiar comment. This dude's reading YouTube comment sections and using them as sources in his pathetic article. The conspiracy stole my slack. Now I am alt-right Discordian. I am alt-right Discordian. Hey fam, want to test out the rope? Want to test out of this rope has any slack? Yeah, if this rope has any slack, he meant to say. Their God. Oh, I want to see if there's there's cool. What are we learning about? And the purpose of this is okay. You're getting there, MK Ultra. You're getting there. Oh man, it's so impossible to watch. He is such a failed actor and failed comedian. All right, now check this out. Their god, Bob Dobbs, also uses the famous OK hand gesture, used predominantly by Trump and his sycophants. Wheeling and dealing for Bob. Now, this is where it gets super interesting. This is how you become a saint in the church. Set up a fantastic business deal for us. Interest local or national radio, TV, newspapers, magazines. They're always interested in freak shows, and with SubGenius, they're biting off more than they can bargain for. Stage mass revivals and mass devivals and conclaves. Rack your brains for any ins you may have. Okay, so rack your brains for any ins you may have with the rich or powerful or famous. Introduce them to the divine idiocy that is Bob. Show them how they should invest and publicize the church. Solicit testimonials. Donate bucks to Bob. Spend it like there's no tomorrow. There isn't. A word on donations. We aren't tax deductible. The OK hand sign is really just a code for sodomy, and it often seems to be boy rape in particular. In some Mediterranean countries such as Turkey, Tunisia, and Greece in the Middle East, as well as in Brazil and parts of Germany and several South American countries, it may be interpreted as a vulgar expression, either an insult if you are an asshole, for the slang of anus itself, or an offensive reference to homosexuality. The gesture is also known of the fraternal sign of the Gabai. So now apparently the alt-right Twitter members who were banned from Twitter have led an exodus over Gabby, who uses the green frog, which we see all over the alt-right in the form of Pepe the Frog. Not to be confused with, of course, Pepe the Frog. I mean, Pepe the Frog's not even as popular as Pepe the Frog. And Pepe the Frog is more popular than, well, Pepe the Frog is a more popular meme than, is he? Yeah, than J.R. Bob Dobbs. I'd say so. Now, Bob Dobbs was a meme before memes were a thing, but this is where it starts to get interesting. So, looky here, it's our favorite Jews and Philo-Semites. We see many of the Trumpians throwing up this hand sign naively, not knowing what it really means. I'm sure these figures below know exactly what it means. Milo, Alex, or should I say Bill. Back to Bob. That should be in quotes, sir. I first saw the picture of Bob Dobbs. When I first saw the picture of Bob Dobbs, it looked eerily familiar. I remembered that several of the trolls dedicated to harassing me and other renegades on Twitter were using Bob Dobbs as their avatars. Here is one of those accounts interacting with someone else. 2016. And here is his profile page. Uh-oh. It's Bob Dobbs. I guess when you worship Slack, that means doing lines of blow and having sex all day. Here are a few more Twitter profiles that are inspired by Bob. Uh-oh. Pepe the Frog and what was that? A Clockwork Orange combined. Robert Anton Wilson also joined the Church of the SubGenius, who referred to him as Pope Bob. Wilson was the brains behind Operation Mindfuck. The goal of this operation was to attribute all national calamities, assassinations, or conspiracies to the other member groups. This reminded me about how Hillary has claimed everything against her and her husband as a result of the vast right-wing conspiracy that has called out the alt-right and Pepe as being involved most recently. There are other interesting examples of this type of behavior, such as every time there is a hoax shooting, we see Sam Hyde being put forth as the suspect. Bill O'Reilly. Breaking news. One alleged shooter confirmed as a white supremacist, Sam Hyde, others unconfirmed as of yet. Damn you, Sam Hyde! You Discordian SubGenius bastard! You were kicked off of mainstream TV. Cartoon Network and Adult Swim you were on. You had your TV show. But you made fun of the Jews too much. So you got kicked off of the TV and the mainstream media. And now the SubGenius and other meme organizations post memes of you. And I think this may be your fault. I think you wanted that. Now, let's see if there's now check this out. Check this out. Okay. Robert Anton Wilson also helped popularize the Discordian movement with his Illuminatus trilogy. The Discordians planted stories about the secret society in various leftist, libertarian, and hippie publications, introducing the Illuminati to the counterculture. We accused everybody of being in the Illuminati, Wilson recalled. Nixon, Johnson, William Buckley, Jr., ourselves, Martian invaders, all the conspiracy buffs, everybody. This reminds me how the alt-right will accuse anyone who points out their controlled opposition movement as a leftist shill or libtard. Robert Anton Wilson's work also inspired the notorious Illuminati card game. There is a lot in the deck which is relevant to us, but 5 cards in particular caught my attention in regards to this topic. The first one is entitled Dobbstown, which seems to be a reference to Jonestown, but is obviously also referencing the SubGenius god, Bob Dobbs. This was the highest quality photo I can find. I'm interested to know what it says in the text. Oh, it's easy to find out. Just go look at the Illuminati card game. Mark Jackson. Comet Hail Bob. It is a flaming yield sign from the heavens. Here we see Bob Dobbs' face on the comet. We also see a Principia Discordia card. Are those supposed to be Obama and Hillary? We also see a drawing of a pentagram, or is it the Pentagon building in DC that is known for its affinity for child rape videos? Eris lives. That's the apple. These are all symbols of the Discordian faith. That's another one. This next card has a man with a question mark on his shirt, which reminds me of the Anonymous logo with the question mark replacing the head. It also has raining frogs and what appears to be a black version of the pedo bear, Spurdo Spard. That's because the Church of the SubGenius invented and is directly behind Anonymous. Anonymous is the Church of the SubGenius. The Church of the SubGenius is Anonymous. 4chan, Q, all of these different groups are the Church of the SubGenius and the Discordians. They just keep changing the titles of their organizations and the face that they use. Sometimes they have a face like Bob, and sometimes they don't, like Anonymous. The next card is quite interesting as well, the Frog God. I can actually tie this to the Infinite Plane Society as well, but I will do that some other time. Pape, Fape, Kek. Could these cards and the whole New World Order conspiracy have simply been a kind of magic trick that has been played upon us by these chaos magicians? There are a number of similarities between the Church of the SubGenius and Discordianism. Eris, the goddess of chaos, who is worshipped by adherents of the latter, is believed by members of the Church of the SubGenius to be the wife of Jehovah One and an ally to humans. Like Discordianism, the Church of the SubGenius rejects absolute truth and embraces contradictions and paradoxes. Religious scholar David Chilester of the University of Cape Town views the Church of as a Discordian offshoot, and Kirby sees them as a child of the Discordians. Is meme magic simply chaos magic repackaged? Pepe, who represents Kek, an ancient Egyptian frog-headed god of primordial chaos, is now a symbol of white nationalists, whether we like it or not. Pepe the Frog is a meme that has been used by millions of people in a plethora of ways. These people have no idea what else this meme could be used for and probably don't care anyway. There is even esoteric Kekism, which appears to be another type of parody religion, such as the Church of the SubGenius and Discordianism introduced above. Many of those on the alt-right believe that through the power of chaos magic or meme magic, that even worship of fictional deities can have real-world consequences. Well, duh! If you choose to worship Ares, I meant. Or did I? The goddess of the church of the, or sorry, of Discordianism. Well, then she's the Greek goddess of chaos. You choose to worship that, you're gonna have some pretty fucking wacky shit happen to you. I mean, that even the worship of fictional deities can have real world consequences? What do you think is going on with millions of other people who worship Jesus Christ, Christos? You know, you want to know how many fucking Jesus religions there are? Jesus Christ! Of course, the worship of fictional deities can have real world consequences. J.R. Bob Dobbs has helped over 1 million people. Pepe the Frog is a meme that's probably touched over 1 billion people at this point. Pepe the Frog don't have shit on Pepe, and Pepe the Frog don't have shit on Bob, that's for sure. Pepe originates from Matt Fury's comic series Boys Club. Now Fury is teaming up with the ADL to take back his cartoon from the evil racists. The Times of Israel states, Matt Fury will create a series of positive Pepe internet memes that the ADL will promote through its social media channels with the hashtag Say Pepe. The organization announced in a news, shut up, I don't care, you look like an idiot. When the dots are connected, it starts to paint a very revealing picture of manufactured mind fuckery. It appears to me at this point that this Pepe nonsense is not organic. This frog meme has been seeded into the minds of many who once again proudly carry the banner of their enemies, as stated to happen in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. I think that's by Albert Pike. Brought to our ranks, thanks to our blind agents, whole legions who bore our banners with enthusiasm. Now, watch this. Check this out. And this is where it starts to get interesting. Again, I couldn't find a better image of the Dobbs Town card either, but I did find the Church of the SubGenius card game based on the Illuminati card game. No, actually, the Church of the SubGenius card game is a subset of the Illuminati card game, which was based off of a Church of the SubGenius member and co-creator Robert Anton Wilson. So it's probably not from the Illuminati card game that we know of. This is some wacky shit, though. Great job putting this article together. I want to know more because this is all relevant, as you are pointing out. Now check this out. The Sam Hyde thing, I think, is just a satirical take on how racist whites and gun nuts are always treated as America's permanent threat to public order. Now check this out. The Pepe cartoons used to be funny. And I tend to think, all right, I don't, I'm interested in this is amazing. Watch this. That post is dumb as hell. Rolling on fucking, I don't know, I forgot what that means. And doesn't make any sense. And I'm a Discordian. I'm used to nonsense, you see. The whole thing on SubGenius is a mockery on consumerist people and rightist idiots who run around seeking money. The first members were mostly anarchist, including Saint tentatively or Convenience, the neoist guy. And one of the Discordian founders were an anarchist, Malaclips II. Later in his life, he gave up the movement, but he wrote with his final he wrote with those ideas in mind. The same on Robert Anton Wilson, who wrote the Illuminatus trilogy while he was an anarchist. And for real, if you don't get a satire, you can leave by the door over there or just jump out of the window, Keck. Now, why don't you kiddies go play in the park while adults handle politics? This guy's hilarious. Victor Molotov Diaz, the Discordian fixer. P.S. Why do all whiteys like to complain like little bitches? PS2, PlayStation 2. So check this out. I'm going to read some of your comments, and then I'm going to go back to this amazing article right here that we just read. 25 watching. Awesome. Check this out. What's up to Cone, MK Ultra? Okay, what? Clearly. Yeah, I'm sharing misinformation, you idiot. Get the hell out of here, MK Ultra, you dummy. Oh, what's up, IPS? Is that a meme? Is that, yeah. What's up, Conan? Dan Frat? Road Jogan? Osher? What's up, I Spy? Meth Powderland? What'd she say? Hell Keck? Hey, Katie. Blank Props and Ops. M. Darble. Later, Katie. Gory Lail. All these people are opposites. It's hilarious. Yeah, Pepe definitely didn't kill Pepe. Pump your brakes, bro. Alright, now check this out. 28 watching. Like and share. Subscribe if you're not. I appreciate you being here. Now watch this. Okay, so that guy just ruined him. Wow, that is terrible. Horrible language. So now I'm going to read off to you Discordian scripture. Listen to this. Erisciates 1. Everything may be meaningless. Okay, everyone, you're going to really enjoy this. I'm excited to read this to you. I'm excited to read this to you. All right, here goes. I almost want to take a little rippy poo before I read this. This is really meaningful, what I'm about to read for you. I'm glad there's about 25 people watching. Thank you for being here. It means a lot. Now check this out. The words, this is a message that goes out to everyone in the Flat Earth community. Everyone in the Flat Earth community, hashtag same team. Flat Earth United. IPS community. Infinite Plane Society. Flat Earth SubGenius Society. All the rest of you Flat Earth potatoes out there, Mark Sargent. You fake Flat Earthers out there. Got a lot of people out there. This is important. Everything may be meaningless. The words of the fool. A son of humans. Pope in Discordia. Absurd! Absurd, says the fool. Utterly absurd. Everything is absurd. What does man gain from all this? What does man gain from all his labor, at which he toils under the sun? Except for sunburn, a bad back, and a retirement plan that goes away when the corporation goes bankrupt. The generations come and go. Children of men become beatniks. Children of beatniks become hippies. Children of hippies become spoiled brats, and the earth continues onward, unaware of the philosophies of the idiots that run around on its surface. The sun rises and the sun sets, no matter what view of the solar system we might have. It will warm the flat earther, just as it will warm the one who knows the earth to be round. So then, what value is in the knowing? The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Its blowing generates energy for some, and its blowing destroys property for others. No matter how we plan, we can neither stop nor start the blowing of the wind. All streams flow into the sea, often carrying garbage, waste, and pollution. Yet the sea is never full of water, but it is filling with garbage. To the place the streams come from, there they return again, leaving the old garbage and bringing more next time. Such is all philosophy and religion. All things are strange. More than one can say. No matter what we see, no matter what we hear, there is always more, and it's generally wrong. In all things do we repeat ourselves. That which we argue about has been argued before. That which we think about has been thought about before. There is nothing new under the sun, and yet none of us will ever see or experience all of it. We will, however, fight over all of it. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. At best, we just happen to be the first humans to notice it. Not everyone is remembered, and those who are remembered are often remembered through hyperbole, tall tales, legend, and myths. What came before us we see darkly through the lens of history. What will come next we have no way of knowing. I, the fool, was a pope in Discordia. I devoted myself to study and to explore by wit all that is done by humans. What a heavy burden man has laid on men. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are silly, like chasing after the wind. What is twisted can be straightened, but it will always have a weakness there. What is lacking can be counted, but you have to use negative numbers. I thought to myself, look, I have grown and increased in ideas as much as anyone in Discordia ever has. I have experienced much and learned much. Then I applied myself to the understanding of nonsense and also of sense. But I learned that all of this, too, is chasing after the wind. Absurdity upon absurdity, especially if you try to argue over it. And then I met other fools who had sought also, and then I met other fools who had also thought of all of these things which I thought unique to me. With much freedom comes much sorrow, but also joy. The more awareness, the more grief, but also pleasure. It's a balancing act and likely to end with a pie in the face. One more. The Church of the SubGenius documentary movie premiered yesterday in Texas. Lucky sons of bitches got to see it. I'm gonna try to see it as soon as I can. If I have to pay to see it, I'll pay Bob to see it. I'll even pay the conspiracy to see it. But does this sound like a nefarious organization to you? This is the Austin Chronicle. This is 3 days ago. This is the Austin Chronicle. It's a very renowned site. Bow down and pay up for J.R. Bob Dobbs and the Church of the SubGenius. The power of Slack compels you in this SXSW documentary. Before there were noodly appendages, there was Bob Dobbs and the Church of the SubGenius. Hey, friend, do you have Slack? Do you know Bob? The one true Bob? The Bob that is J.R. Bob Dobbs? Welcome to the Church of the SubGenius, a fake religion that knew it was bogus, a faith with arbitrary rules that were designed to be impossible to interpret, and adherents that were mostly in on the joke. And above all, the mythical Bob Dobbs, a messiah of unknown provenance. Where exactly did that strange figure, the proto-atomic father figure, the ward cleaver of the Illuminati, appear from? I have the great-grandfather of all reproductions of that image hidden away, said the Reverend Ivan Stang, aka following Book of Clip Art. The Church of the SubGenius was the first religion to not simply admit that it was fake, but to relish the insanity. And with J.R. Bob Dobbs and the Church of the SubGenius, which receives its world premiere at SXSW this week, the curtains are pulled back and the robes are hiked up as the founders shake the walls of the nonsensical temple. Well, maybe not the first fake religion, Stang said. Peter the Great founded a form of the Church of the SubGenius in the late 1500s, called the all-joking, all-drunken Synod of Fools and Gestures. It was a takeoff of the Russian Orthodox Church. And in those days, the only person that could get away with doing that and not get executed was the Tsar. And he was only 17 years old when he did that. Then there were the Discordians, but we were more organized than them, said Stang, but maybe not as organized as the Flying Spaghetti Monster Kids. But I think we've got staying power because the picture of Bob is somehow eternal. It's so stupid looking that it makes it so lovable. But of course, to me, it's somewhat sinister because I've seen it take over people's brains and I've seen it tattooed on their flesh. Birthed in Texas but spreading globally, the Church of the SubGenius was Dadaism resurrected, a commentary on evangelical mystical nonsense. Yet SubGenius was also a portrait of times to come. Bob was a meme before there were memes. The ideas were viral like Ebola. It was the ultimate cool club, with its books treated like holy texts in 80s and 90s counterculture, snapped up from bookstore shelves on the rare occasions they were cited. You should have just ordered them from us, said Stang. They're autographed that way. The church's members were a who's who of 80s creative. And admission, many founding and early staff of the Chronicle were SubGeniuses, but were also filmmaker David Bream, Talking Heads, Paul Rubens, aka Pee Wee Herman, Mark Mothersbro of Devo. Stang said that he'll have 45-year-olds come up to him and say, "Oh, SubGenius, Hour of Slack. I used to listen to that in high school." Well, it's still on, and you can still listen to it, and it's a lot easier now because everything is on the internet, and it's making everyone dumber and dumber and dumber. So while not ubiquitous as it was, it's still going, still evolving, still spawning the occasional delightful schismatics. That's what makes it so special, the director Sandy K. Boone. It is metamorphosing all the time. There is an Arkansas group and a New York group and a San Francisco group, and that's what makes it so special, that all these groups add their little artistic being to it. Well, I've been trying to find the SubGenius New York group. Uh, they're they're a very secretive little group. If you know anything more about that, actually, I'll go find. I'll find them. But yeah, this is that's good stuff right there. So I'll get rid of that, and then I'll finish off the Eresian poetry of the Discordian scriptures. So slow, it's speed up as a matter of a fact. It shall reload here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. So let me go back to the chat room. And there goes your wrench. And you get a timeout. All right. Let's go back to this. Nonsense is absurd. I determined to seek pleasures and found complete nonsense to be pleasurable. Yet this too led to absurdity. For that which I deemed nonsense was sometimes awesome and sometimes lame, and after a while got repetitive and boring. If man's sense is absurd, and man's nonsense is absurd, then what can man do? So I embraced folly and silliness, and went off to see if it was worth being completely out of my head. So I wrote nonsensical poetry and prose. I engaged in mind-fucking those that were not silly, and playing tricks on those who were silly. I engaged in nonsensical metaphysics and created mashups of all other beliefs, faiths, and ideas which probably violated someone's intellectual property. I drank and smoked and carried on, yet these things were also absurd. For a hangover is a hangover, no matter what you think of the universe. When I was young, I denied myself many things, for that was the belief of my people. When I came to find that all is absurd, I denied myself nothing that I desired. My actions were my own reward, and the freedom I felt was its own payment. Yet, when it was all done, I found this to be absurd. The man that is never serious appears equal in absurdity as the man who is always serious. Wisdom and folly are absurd. Then I turned my mind toward wisdom, but I found that wisdom was subjective and often dependent on how well the person could argue in circles. I looked also at madness and folly, and they didn't appear much worse for the wear. For many claim to have wisdom, and few claim to be mad. Yet, from what I can see, all are mad, and few are wise. I saw that wisdom and folly were like the light and the dark. Neither are bad, but unless you live in Alaska, you probably like your day to be split between the two. Some may say that the light is better, for one can see. Another may say the dark is better, for one can find peace. Yet wisdom or folly or madness leaves us equally dead in the end. So why choose wisdom over nonsense if you're dead either way? Is the choice not absurd? For both the wise and the foolish will live for a time and then die. soon they will be forgotten, unless they were a real asshole. And then they'll only be remembered in internet debates such as part of Godwin's Law. Godwin's Law, by the way, Godwin's Law is an internet adage asserted that as an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazi or Hitler approaches. One, that is, if an online discussion, regardless of topic or scope, goes on long enough, sooner or later someone will compare someone or something to Adolf Hitler or his deeds, the point at which effectively discussion or threat often ends. Promulgated by the American author Mike Godwin in 1990. Yeah, that's pretty. It is now applied to any threaded online discussion, chat rooms, comment threads, as well as speeches, articles. So, let me finish up this beautiful poem. For both the wise and the foolish will live for a time and then die. Soon they will be forgotten, unless they were a real asshole, and then they'll only be remembered in internet debates as part of Godwin's Law. One could hate life and see it as all grievous and meaningless, or one could get on with the program and figure out what to do with the time they have. Hey, by the way, if you spend your time in my chat room telling me what to do with my time, wow. If that's what you want to do with your life and think you're contributing to society, okay. Congratulations, Ryan. One could hate life and see it all as grievous and meaningless, or one can get with the program and figure out what to do with the time they have. For that which we create and that which we write will be passed on to future idiots, and who knows what fucked up ideas they'll have. They will interpret what you write as they see fit, and not care what you thought. After all, you are dead, and they live. And that puts all the power in their hands, and even your copyright material will be theirs, unless you have an estate. If you have an estate, they'll probably rape your corpse anyway. Eris gives to the wise man as much shit as she gives to the fool. She throws apples at the man who toils under the sun, and she throws apples at the man who relaxes on the riverbank in the shade. To the one in the sun, she gives heat exhaustion, and to the other she tips him, and he falls into the mud. In the end, the only one really having a good time is Eris. Embrace sense or nonsense. Either way, she'll screw with you. These were some Discordian scriptures. I think they speak for themselves. Obviously, there is a lot more to uncover. Boom! Occult origin of mainstream physics and astronomy.
In ancient times, they called Kabbalah mysticism. But if you tried to explain the computer just even 200 years ago, or the fax machine or the internet, they'd call it mysticism. So Kabbalah spoke about concepts that were literally not just centuries, but even millennia ahead of time. So for example, the Zohar, 2,000 years ago, which is 1,500 years before Columbus, the Zohar spoke about a round earth. Quote,
the Zohar spoke about a round earth. To quote, how's the audio? The audio is really not that good on that on this video that I'm playing, but how is the audio on the video that I just played? Can you hear it at least a little bit?
So for example, the Zohar, 2,000 years ago, which is 1,500 years before Columbus, the Zohar spoke about a round earth. Quote, The whole world rolls around like a ball, so that some people are above and some are below. The Zohar said 2,000 years ago that true reality exists in 10 dimensions. Can you imagine? We just learned about dimensions in this century, but there's other dimensions we can't see. So Kabbalah said true reality exists actually in 10 dimensions. Now, why is that important? It said you look around with your 5 senses, we only detect 1% of true reality. The remaining
Okay, cool. It'll get better. It'll suddenly get really shitty, the audio, in a second once Michio Kaku, the crazy physicist, globe earth physicist, starts talking. But it'll get better after Kakio stops talking.
99% is hidden, says Kabbalah, in these dimensions. You look around with your 5 senses, we only detect 1% of true reality. The remaining 99% is hidden, says Kabbalah.
Says Kabbalah. So apparently, mainstream physics and astronomy is originated in Kabbalah.
These are dimensions.
I'm a theoretical physicist. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I like to say I walk on the shoulders of giants like Einstein and... Yes, what else? I'll repeat it. He said it's loading shit. It's loading really bad. Hold on, let me refresh this shit real quick. Hold on. He's only going to talk for another second, and then the audio is going to get better. Just bear with me, and then I think I'm gonna watch this. I was gonna play The Greatest Lie down here, but I don't feel like getting a copyright strike, so I'll just close down the feed and then watch it by myself and eat some food. Make some more dots. That was a beautiful. Those two Discordians, those poems were beautiful. The sun is still will warm a flat earther who knows that the earth is flat, just the same as the sun will warm a round earther who knows that the earth is round. Just beautiful. What good is knowing then? Just beautiful poetry, Discordian poetry. All right, this is loading, man. You know what? I should get rid of this. I should get rid of this. All right, here it goes. Audio is terrible in this video. I feel like Arwen's screwing around with his microphone right now. Except my computer is just slow because I have too much shit on it. Come on. Later, Felix.
In ancient times, they called Kabbalah mysticism. But if you tried to explain the computer just even 200 years ago, or the fax machine, or the internet, they called it mysticism. So
God
spoke about concepts that were literally not just centuries, but even millennia ahead of time. So, for example, the Zohar, 2,000 years ago, which is 1,500 years before Columbus, the Zohar spoke about a round earth.
Oh my God!
The whole world rolls around like a ball, so that some people are above.
It's so slow. It's like irritating my body.
2,000 years ago, that true reality exists.
Look at this shit!
We just learned about dimensions in this century, but there's other dimensions.
Yeah, we just learned about dimensions in this century. We didn't know anything about dimensions. Nobody ever talked about dimensions until recently. Nobody in the whole fucking history of the world ever talked about dimensions.
we only detect 1% of true reality. The remaining 99% is hidden, says Kabbalah. These are dimensions. I like to say that I want to fix that sometime. However, I am rather dazzled by the fact that many of the basic mysteries of science seem to be
So he said that many of the things that we see in string theory seem to be mirrored in the Kabbalah.
However, I am rather dazzled by the fact that many of the basic mysteries of science seem to be
mirrored in the Zohar and mirrored in the Kabbalah. Many of the theories of string theory, mysteries of string theory, can be seen in is mirrored in the Kabbalah and Zohar.
Sounds like a Kabbalistic text. Sounds like a Kabbalistic text.
Modern astrophysics sounds like a Kabbalic text.
Sounds like a Kabbalistic text.
Okay, the audio is going to get better now.
When I first made the correlations between Kabbalah and science, I was stunned. You do know that Isaac Newton had access to certain mystical texts, certain texts of the Kabbalah.
Well, the Kabbalistic description of creation is coming from a single little point,
the line.
Okay, the audio is finally better. Okay, cool. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's finish this off.
When I first made the correlations between Kabbalah and science, I was stunned. We do know that Isaac Newton had access to certain mystical texts, certain texts of the Kabbalah.
Well, the Kabbalistic description of creation is coming from...
We do know that Isaac Newton had certain Kabbalistic texts.
A single little point from a speck, and of having matter...
I just bought a Christian or Catholic Bible yesterday, a new one that I don't have, and I also it's like I have I'm trying to collect every religious text. You know how many different Kabbalic texts there are? Different versions and translations of the Kabbalah there are? Sheesh.
Form and time and space form all together at the very beginning. This sounds very much to me like the description of the Big Bang.
I couldn't believe.
Well, the Kabbalistic description of creation is coming from a single little point from a speck, and of having matter form and time and space form all together at the very beginning. This sounds very much to me like the description of the Big Bang.
I couldn't believe that the Kabbalists could derive these truths without really knowing any mathematics or physics.
It is certainly true that in string theory, the number 10 is the dimension of space-time for supersymmetrical string theories and 26. For bosonic string theories stand out as a requirement of mathematics.
All the things that could destroy string theory, all the things that do destroy every rival.
By the way, Michio Kaku is he's a disciple of Robert Anton Wilson.
String theory, all the things that do destroy every rival theory, all the things that could destroy string theory, all the things that do destroy every rival theory, string theory, they are all eliminated in precisely 10 and 26 dimensions. These dimensions are magic. We physicists don't know where these dimensions come from. The Zohar says those destroy every rival theory, string theory. They are all eliminated in precisely 10 dimensions.
They are all eliminated in precisely 10 and 26 dimensions.
These dimensions are magic. We physicists don't know where these dimensions come from.
These dimensions are magic. 10 and 26 dimension are magic. You know, we physicists don't know where these dimensions come from.
All the things that could destroy string theory, all the things that do destroy every rival theory, string theory, they are all eliminated in precisely 10 and 26 dimensions. These dimensions are magic. We physicists don't know where these dimensions come from. The Zohar says those things. It could just be a lucky guess. I don't know.
So you tell me, How come that's the only text for 2,000 years old can have that kind of information so clearly there?
They knew things about the universe that took us till now to discover.
There can be an interface between science and spirituality.
The Zohar's notion that life is a realm of no time and no space is quite consistent with special relativity.
What's been stopping it so far are, number one, the lack of a good concept, and I think the Kabbalah is offering that now in the context of modern science, and two, a reticence on the part of both scientists and people in religion to mix the two.
It's rather amazing, this uncanny reflection of some of the most advanced cosmology coming from our satellites, coming from our atom smashers, coming from our blackboards, that are mirrored in Zohar and ancient Kabbalistic texts.
The wisdom of Kabbalah originated in ancient Babylon, where people discovered it for the first time. It talks about the foundations of the universe, of the world, and thus far, only very few people have engaged in it through the generations, but it's been around for 4,500 years. But now it is evolving and emerging because now we need this wisdom. And because it was hidden and closed all those years, around it, all kinds of beliefs and incorrect rumors were made about it, all kinds of misconceptions. But the wisdom of Kabbalah is a science about our lives, about the universe, about the world. And because it was hidden for so many years, people thought that it was about mysticism, all kinds of magic, all kinds of misconceptions. In the wisdom of Kabbalah, there is knowledge about the whole of the universe, as I said. Currently, it is taught in 1,800 faculties worldwide in universities. I myself did my PhD in philosophy of Kabbalah. And I have many students who study. It is not the red bracelet or holy water Kabbalah type of Kabbalah, or the celebrity type. It's totally not that. It is incorrect. Kabbalah is a very serious, rigorous science. And in our organization, we have many scientists from all fields of science, psychology, physics, medicine, etc. And as of late, politicians too.
So it sounds like the Kabbalah is the scientific branch of Islam?
And economists. Because the recent crisis actually demands of us.
It's also the religious texts of Hollyweird, transvestites, transgender Baphomet creatures in Hollywood. So that's very interesting correlation there.
To provide an answer why this is happening from the Kabbalah perspective and how it can be
like Mandana. You all know Mandana loves the Kabbalah.
resolved.
It's quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. Kabbalists practice gematria. Interesting. Elliot Hall, I gotta get you on here soon, bro. Pan-Indianism. Pan-Indigenism, formerly Pan-Indianism. So now it's called Pan-Indigenism? Oh, God. These politically correct people, I want to fucking throw a trident through their fucking heads. Pan-Indigenism, formerly Pan-Indianism, is a philosophy and movement promoting unity among different indigenous American groups in the Americas, regardless of tribal or local affiliations. Some academics use the term pan-Amerindianism, the fuck, to distinguish from the other territories called Indian. Wow, that is dumb. The movement is largely associated with Native Americans in the continental United States, but has spread to other indigenous groups as well. A parallel growth of the concept has occurred in Alaska and Canada. There, however, are other indigenous peoples, such as the Inuit and Métis, are often included in a wider rubric, sometimes called pan-Aboriginal or some variation thereof. Pan-Indian organizations seek to pool the resources of indigenous groups in order to protect the interests of the native people across the plain. Wow, that's a lot. Wow. Alaska Native Brotherhood and Sisterhood, All Indian Pueblo Council, American Indian Movement, Assembly of First Nations, Association on American Indian Affairs, Back Hills Treaty Council, International Indian Treaty Council. That's fucking cool. Well, at least they got a shit ton of stuff now. It's quite interesting. Wow, there's a lot of stuff, man. Huh. 1924, 1901. Huh. Very interesting. Zohar is the main root of modern Kabbalah. It's a Jewish text expounding on the Torah. What's the difference between the Torah and the Talmud? What's the difference between me and you? So what's the difference between the Torah and the Talmud? It's not so, like, the Jews argue about the difference between the Torah and the Talmud, while the Christians and the Catholics argue the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament. They argue about Jesus. It's like they argue about the New Testament and the Old Testament the same way as the Torah and the Talmud. Or about the names of Jesus. What you don't realize is that Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are all linked together, including the Jesuits and Zionism as well. What's up, Divine Plane? Yo, yo, what's up, brother? I will tell you the difference. Shit. Yeah, I'll hook you up with a link. My voice is starting to get scratchy since reading all that beautiful poetry. I want you guys to join my group here. Is my league, my Facebook group on here? Yeah, join my Facebook group right here. My Facebook group is among the best on the entire plane. The greatest flat earthers in the world are in this group. Some of the best globe earthers as well. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be over 2,000 subscribers soon. That's cool. Appreciate it. I should do a book giveaway. I should give away some books of mine to somebody again. So what's the difference between the Talmud and the Torah? All right, fine. One second. I gotta make some food for myself, so I'll do that. Yeah, that's cool. Let me go hook you up with the link real quick. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say, but I'll throw this over to you real quick. Since Antonio just self-published his first book, very proud of you, Antonio. The Book of the Sun, now on eBay. Go take a look at that. He knows that I have my own book as well. Some of you should know. I finally got a transcript of something that I have been waiting years to get back from a particular corporation. I finally got it back, the transcript of my own writings, and after years of waiting, and now I can work again on my book and finish my book. I'll probably add another 100 or 150 pages, but definitely I'm going to add another 100 pages. That's for sure. So it'll be around 200 pages. It's going to be an amazing book, and it's so interesting that my book has been replicated by so many other clones and mimes, half-assing it, charging too much money for their dumb book, for their mime book. But it's cool. So many ideas. It's like the 100 monkey effect. So many pushed around. A lot of people are coming out with ideas at the same time, thinking that they are the ones that came out with the idea. It's happening a lot with the flat earth, that's for sure. It's good that some people give credit where credit is due, that's for sure. This is taking longer than I wanted. I'm waiting for this to load. My Skype screen is taking forever. What the fuck? Alright. Come on. Sorry for making you wait. My Skype is loading really slowly. It's literally black and white in black and white chunks right now. I just made my computer faster. It should be going faster, not slower. Okay, finally. All right, I'm gonna hand you the link. Nice. By the way, Jan Irving, man, what a terrible researcher that guy is. Terrible researcher. If you just like make wild accusations about people, you better have some damn good evidence to back yourself up. If you can't prove about people, then just fuck off. Wild accusations about people, you better have some damn good evidence to back yourself up.
You can't conclusions about people.
Yo, mute that.
Dan, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
That was my bad. I didn't mute. I muted now.
All right, hold on. Let me turn you down. All right, good. So, did you hear that shitty audio of the occultic origins of the mainstream physics and astronomy?
I didn't. I just got back from dinner. I saw that you were on. I thought I gotta come and say hi.
Yeah, freaking. I was just I was listening to about a half a dozen physicists explain how the Kabbalah and the Zohar are direct links to modern astrophysics and astronomy, and how they talk about the same stuff and propagate the same stuff, and ideas and theories about like string theory and all those weird heliocentric bullshit, relativity and all that nonsense, and it's just interesting how isn't that like Jewish like origins? Isn't that like?
I think it's like, these physicists, it's like liars figure and figures lie. So they'll take 1 + 1 and make it 13 if it works in their model.
No, that's what it is nowadays. But yeah, go ahead and explain whatever you want. The difference between the Torah and the Talmud. I'm gonna mute myself and go to.
No. I don't actually have the difference. I was just jumping on to say hi.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, hold on, let me read some of these comments real quick then. So let's see. It says Kabbalists defy or deity Moses. Oh, Kabbalists defy Moses as the perfect man. Torah is first few books of the Bible, I believe. Talmud is the Jewish text as a whole. And he says I might have them backwards. See, everyone has the shit. Everyone has the shit backwards. No one everyone thinks they're an expert on this shit, and they don't even know what they.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder where all this stuff comes from. Like, how do we even know what we know?
That's why I always just look into this shit, and like people stay the fuck away from me just because I'm a Discordian and a SubGenius. They're like, I don't want to get involved with this fucking guy, but it's like I'm the one being honest here. I'm just being honest. I'm questioning things. It's like I'm being skeptical and showing you the type of research that I do, and I read conspiratorial articles that slander the Church of the SubGenius, and then I show you. It's like we just premiered a documentary, and our documentary is going to be 1,000 times better than the Flat Earth documentary. And also, Logan Paul just put out the trailer to his documentary the same day that the Church of the SubGenius documentary premiered, which was yesterday.
Well, Dan, let me ask you, what's up with Logan's? Is that like another hit piece?
Yeah, it's just he basically knew that the shitty Flat Earth documentary was just going to be a pathetic hit piece, and since he has a higher he knows more about what's actually going on about them, the people who got tricked into believing that they would show positive Flat Earth stories in the documentary. Logan Paul is just smarter than them because he's in Hollywood and Hollywood, and he knows that that's what's going to happen. So he has his own team, unlike the dumb Flat Earthers who thought they had their own team. And he put together his own documentary, which is going to be even better than the Netflix documentary. And he's going to make money for himself, unlike the Flat Earthers who misrepresented the Flat Earthers and didn't make any money for themselves unless they lied. So
wait, is that why they all took down their videos? Because they got taken?
Well, it's either that or they have to, because they have to rebrand everything because they got too popular, and now they have to take down the Globebusters logo and re-promote it as the Ballbusters or something.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm confused. So is it coming out now that it's like Flat Earth is legit and they're trying to contain it, or are they trying to like slam it and make it look stupid? I mean,
it's just constantly. It's all it is trying any way, anything, any agenda. What you want to do is however you want to do it. If you want to slander it and make it look stupid, then I guess you take the Mark and Patricia route. And if you want to make money for yourself, then you take the Logan Paul route, and he's going to be making shit tons of money off of his documentary. but also dude, it's hard, man. It's hard to be an independent producer in the movie business and in the industry, entertainment industry in general, and to get your shit promoted and invested in and taken seriously and released at movie premieres and festivals.
That's not going to happen. I mean,
that's serious fucking business.
Yeah, I mean that's all about money, and the flat Earth it's a sideshow.
So, like Logan Paul he's been around that shit. He's already been exposed and had to fucking apologize publicly and wear a dress and shit just to get his channel back. And it's like it's clear that, it's just if you want to make money, go ahead. Like now I'm getting to the point where like the people in the Church of the SubGenius are telling me personally that I should make money for myself. They're like, dude, you've been putting a lot of material out there for many years, and you haven't racked in any money for yourself. You're a bad representative of Church of the SubGenius if you don't start to rack in more money for yourself. I'm not like broke like some of these idiots in the chat room that try to make fun of people. Certainly not even remotely close to broke. I can spend money for myself flying airplanes, unlike the people in the chat room who make fun of people. Like they haven't even flown in fucking airplanes. You haven't even fucking taken a boat ride. You haven't even driven thousands of miles. You haven't done any experiments. And you just sit in a fucking chat room, and you gain man boobs like that. That's how you want to spend your time. That's fucking weird.
I always wondered. Like, let me ask you that question. Like, it's always made sense to me. Those of us that we know the Earth is flat, and so we're out there trying to like push for a paradigm shift, right? So all these people who think it's a globe, like, what motivates them to fight for the globe? That never made sense to me. Like, if you knew it was a globe and you were happy with the fact that it was a globe, wouldn't you just go on living your life? Like, why would you come online and go through all this crap?
Now, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot. It's mind washing, brainwashing, programmed autonomous robots, NASA commercials that need to defend NASA. I've said it before. I coined it. They're walking NASA commercials that they have to defend their ball, and they don't even know why. They'll post memes, globe Earth memes from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and it's like they repeat the same boring shit from 10 to 20 years ago. Bill Nye the Science Guy's boat shit that he's been, remember that?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. That's why I don't understand. Like, how can they even begin to buy that?
It makes them feel like they have millions of people on their side, and they literally have been brainwashed to ridicule and to point fingers and like pee in the pool. It's like they're peeing. You and I are in the pool. We're just talking. We're staring at the level of water contained by contained the contained water bodies of water, and everyone's just peeing around us. And then they're laughing at us because we don't have the blue water that activated. So like they're just swimming in the piss-filled blue waters, and they're surrounding us, and they're all pointing at us, laughing. And they think that because they have the numbers, that they are in the right. It's what's it called? Appeal by authority, or is it?
Yeah.
So that's all. And they also just like people I'm really getting sick and tired of people accusing other people of things when they don't have any evidence. And
but these are like retarded people that do that. It's like.
Well, we honestly got to leave a lot of these people behind, and a lot of them are family members included, which is very sad.
I mean, it's mostly family members. I mean, I think that's why we got put into these families.
Yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep, freaking spiritual work that. I can't.
Here's Jose in the chat. I mean, he knows it's a globe. Didn't he start out as a flat earther before, and now he knows it's a globe? And I'm just wondering, like what happened to that guy? Hey, you've seen him trolling Antonio's chats before, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm curious the psychological aspect of what makes somebody flip back and forth like that? Is it like must be a weak mind? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's just someone who's scared of and they're intellectually lazy. They don't want to. It's a very devoted choice. So it takes a lot of hard work and devotion.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not easy.
It's the path of the warrior. Is other people look at it as a struggle and like, dude, why are you constantly like struggling and fighting? You know, this outside. It's not like it's not. That's what it kind of seems like to a lot of people who just are like new age surrenderists. Who are just like, I just go with the flow, and I just do, you know, what my intuition. Yeah, I just go with the outside forces. They're controlled by outside entities and forces like NASA.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. They don't get it.
They don't have any like internal individualism. They just go.
And they're scared to death of conflict. You know.
See, like that's the thing. Like all this is different types of fear that we're expressing. These the way that the warrior deals with his fear is by confronting it. The way that these surrenderists, these new age religious types of people deal with fear is by putting their faith in an outside force, like they call God, and they say, well, and then he'll get rid of the fear. I don't need to do anything. I'll put it all in Jesus and God, and he'll get rid of my fear.
It's like the Jesus hoax.
So it's like, dude, I figured this shit out. It's fucking, it's magic. It's psychology. It's layers of magic and psychology, and it's very simple if you really like break it down.
Yeah, it's how they've taken over the masses. Hey Shane, how you doing, buddy? Shane's in the chat.
The globe is a toy. It says that on the globe that it's a toy. It's not meant for educational purposes. Like you don't walk around in your car. You don't have a globe that you like. All right, I'm gonna go to Albany, New York. I'm gonna take my globe with me, and you don't use a globe for anything scientific. The globe, the only thing the globe has scientific on it is the analemma.
I mean, what's the best, like, instead of trying to prove flat Earth, what's the best globe proof? I mean, aside from the fake CGI pictures I've seen from NASA, there's not one single globe proof that I've seen. Am I wrong?
Globe proof.
Okay, take a step outside of the whole, okay, we know the Earth is flat, but let's just pretend we didn't know that. So is there anything that we've been shown that would make us believe that we live on a spinning wobbly ball?
I can't. I mean, just believe, but yeah. I mean,
okay, to know the pictures from NASA, right? That's about it.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you're talking globe Earth beliefs, man.
This guy Jose in the chat, he was like, "Tell us your model." We're like, well, tell us our model. Fucking tell us your model. Your model is just has nothing.
That's not good. That's not good. Yeah, man. I just I gotta go to the freaking bathroom real quick, but I had 2 cups of coffee. But I'll let's see here. He says exactly, I like listening to others. Well, Jose's just chilling. He likes to have a nice humorous point of view. And he likes
I like Jose. I'm just wondering, like, what
he's just here. Apparently, he just likes to learn from my channel. Apparently, he likes the way that I express myself. So most people don't. It's like, dude, most people that don't like me have never even stepped foot into a comedy club their entire life. That's how fucking naive these people are, and so out of touch with actual. Like, you've never even been to a comedy club. You've never even seen a stand-up comedian perform. You never even gone to see a stand-up comedian perform in your life. You're in your 20s or your 30s. I mean, Andy, have you ever seen a stand-up comedian perform?
Yeah, I grew up in LA, man. I've been to Laugh Factory.
Okay, thank God. Jesus Christ. Sorry, I was a little concerned there for a second.
Are you kidding me? I grew up on Sunset Boulevard.
I asked these people, and guess what? They have no senses of humor. They have a scientism stick stuck up their ass, and they think that Bill Nye is funny. They think that his comedy is funny. Did you see?
Yeah.
Dude,
they're never gonna get it.
It's crazy. That's why I'm to the point now where I know I'm a flat Earth comedian, and actually I know all the other comedians, the Globe Earth comedians, talk about the flat Earth and me specifically on the stage in my own town, and when I go on the stage, and I'm gonna do it soon, and I'll record it. I'm simply going to lift up the stool, and I'm going to teach them for 5 minutes the difference between a round and flat and a ball. And I'm going to show the audience, and I'm going to debate with the whole entire audience, including the comedians, the bartender. I'm all of them at the same time. I'll do audience participation if they're intelligent. If not, I'm going to shut them the fuck up and tell them to leave immediately, or just you're going to need to shut the fuck up. If you're just going to disrupt the show, I'm going to be holding a stool. I'm going to be sitting on the round and flat stool held up by 4 pillars for the biblical people out there, the Bible Earth. I don't like it's just very simple. That's what I have to do. I have to actually, it's getting to the point where I'm 33 years old and I have to go on the stage and I have to lift up a stool and tell an audience full of adults the difference between round and flat. And I have to do it in a nearly angry way to nearly show myself as going insane, but I'll be doing an act just to make people laugh.
That's what brainwashing does, like they don't know the difference between round and flat anymore.
Dear God, man. It's been 5 fucking years and they still don't know the difference between round and flat.
Well, they're going to have to come out with it pretty soon because the sun is changing, time zones are changing, like the real world is actually changing now. So
it's changing, all right, that's for sure. 20 people watching, that's cool. I'm glad that the viewers are going up even when I don't even promote it too much. I'll take 15 and 20 viewers, that's fine. I mean, it should be more. That's pathetic that I don't have over 2,000 subscribers and I've had a YouTube channel for over 5 years. But, I'm not like Arwen and I'm going to cry into the microphone and scream. And man, have you seen pictures of Arwen when he first started compared to now?
I don't even know who that is.
My motherfucker's going completely bald, man. It's like, damn, dude, I might be going gray, but I'm not going bald. Fuck, man.
I don't even know who Arwen is.
You're good. That's a good thing, Andy. That's a good thing.
I try not to trouble my mind with those types of things.
Oh no, I have to, I have to go from one extreme to the other, from nearly to the spiritual realm to the physical. As weird as that and as paradoxical and hypocritical.
I understand. I get it. My wife and I, we were talking about this at dinner tonight. I mean, it's just that's the way it is. I get it.
Well, I have to. I mean, literally, because I mean, I think it's one of the only ways to be funny. It really
being funny is the key to life, I think.
I'm trying to be. I have to be more kind. Like today I was trying. I was getting. My friends are posting Globe Earth memes that are like from 5 years ago, and I'm trying my best not to be a mean asshole.
Well, don't do that. That would be politically correct. That would be wrong.
I'm just it's, you know how tough it is for me. And
believe me, I know. And every time I'm in the same boat.
You barely know me. We barely know each other, and I struggle with fucking just tearing someone apart mentally.
I mean, emotionally. I understand you. I'm with you on that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You want to be nice, but you wonder. I mean, you can't let this insanity go forward.
Yeah. So I guess. Yeah. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to start asking. Since I came back from the Earthship Academy, I drink half, maybe even a quarter as much as I used to. So it's like drastically dropped my alcohol intake. That's clearly made made me more clear-headed.
I mean, whatever works, man. A lot of these Zen masters, they drink lots of sake. It works for them.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. No, there's a lot of. I mean, there's drunk. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. There's different ways. There's just different ways of everything, man. Yeah.
It's like when you sleep. I had this conversation with my wife. Like, okay, when you sleep and you dream, right? Like you're not necessarily fully present, but you're still interacting and learning, right? So
Yeah.
what's the difference if you've had a few drinks? You're certainly more sober than when you're in a dream.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It's just like different states of consciousness, and it's all a learning experience.
Yeah.
In my opinion, anyways.
Yeah, I've been getting back into some older people that I haven't checked out their work in like 5 years, and it's like physicists, metaphysical, and consciousness research, and that's very interesting to me. That's always interested me.
Yeah, me too.
And
Interesting field.
yeah, it's interesting because they use like spheres of consciousness, or there's
but
like
those are also just concepts, you know. It's like, I mean, you can put what you want on it, but it doesn't make it real.
Yeah, man, words, languages, so many barriers, boundaries set up.
Yeah, it's a tricky world to navigate.
I do have to go to the bathroom.
All right, and I gotta run down. I just wanted to say hi. I got back from dinner and I saw that you were on, and appreciate all your work, brother. Keep it up.
Yeah, dude, thank you, man. Same to you. And subscribe to the Divine Plane. And
thanks, Dan. I appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna play some music real quick.
All right. Cheers, brother.
All right.
Bye.
Peace, bro. All right. So Shane Walter. Trolls versus trolls. What up, dude? Any music? Trolls versus trolls. I've been watching some of your videos. Got some good videos. I like that shit. Let's see what IPS is up to. He's a member of the Flat Earth Society. Oh shit! I gotta watch these new videos. Nice. Fucking pumped about that.
Okay, like what's that? So I started clicking on those, and I ended up down the rabbit hole for a few weeks watching, Mark Sargent's Flat Earth Clues, videos by ODD, Eric DeBay, Jeranism, all of these different books. So great.
About 2 weeks for most people that I've interviewed. That's how long it takes them to go through it. A little bit of a sleepless night, not eating too much, just continually YouTube watching, and suggested videos roll on, and then you come out the other side. Whoa.
Yeah.
It's not a globe.
Well, and my wife, when I would have some free time in the evenings, a lot of time, I'm a movie buff. So if I have some free time, sometimes I'll watch, a movie, streaming movie or something. And she noticed that I was like really fixated on my computer screen. She's like, after about a week, she's like, what do you got going on over there? And I'm like, oh man, what am I supposed to tell her? Like, oh, nothing, honey. It's just flat Earth, So, but, we've been married 25 years almost at that point. So I was like, well, she was used to me, being open-minded to different truth topics over the years. And, I before I came to Flat Earth, I had gone through a little phase about the Kennedy assassination and the moon landing and some other things. And so she knew that I investigated things. And I said, you need to check this out. So I told her a little bit about it, and I had her watch one or two of the videos with me. And she was like, is this a thing? And I'm like, I think it's a thing. Like all the scripture, right? Honestly, I was impressed by some of the empirical evidence and even some of the non-believing folks who had made videos from a scientific perspective. But honestly, I was most impressed and concerned about the fact that these scriptures they're using are telling a different story than what we believe. Like, I needed to check this out. So we continued, for several months studying and all those things. And then about a year and a half later, then we found out about this conference, and we realized it was right in our backyard. We're like, dude, Vermilion, Ohio is like an hour and 15 minutes from our house. So we went to the conference, and boy, I tell you, I guess God answered our prayer. Like, hey, we think we need to do something. What do we need to do? It wasn't answered the way we expected, but as a lot of people said, hey, you know what? You got fired, but you also got freed to speak truth. And I have to say, I agree with them.
You need to change your title to "Free to Speak Truth." I like that.
Yeah.
The fired up aspect too. Long after the story of you being fired has cooled down a bit.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a "You Are Brainwashed" in the channel, and in the chat, he's asking if you ever researched the New Testament.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of Bible research over the years. I guess I'd have to have some more specifics on that, but there's a lot of controversy over different aspects of the Bible and Old versus New Testament. And
I was just talking about that.
Honestly, I'm not one of these folks that claims to know everything about everything. Obviously, since I got fired, one of the most important things that I've been just continuing to study and share about is biblical cosmology. But as a lot of folks know, you get messages all the time. People will send, video links to everything under the sun. And, I'm always interested in checking into things, but I'd have to know some more specifics on that.
Right, wonderful. If there's anyone else in the live chat that's got a question for Pastor Nick Wolf, please put it in the chat box, and I will try to get to it if you capitalize the first word. So I see it. That would be wonderful. So what about your children? You've got 4. A couple of them are basically they're young adults, and then you've got the older ones that are on their own. What do they think about this?
It's all very sharp growing up. Most had gone through some type of I guess what they would call a gifted program or gifted and talented program in school. And, I always say that they got their smarts from their mom, not from me necessarily. But our kids, they noticed that my wife and I were talking about stuff several weeks into our Flat Earth Awakening. And one by one, they just started, asking questions about things. They heard things, whispering, in the hallway about Flat Earth. And they started asking questions. And we shared the gist, but we said, look, this is something, because they were like, no, really? No way. And so we'd give them some links to a video, and we'd share scripture with them, and we'd have discussions at the dinner table. And, all of them now, I can say, are all confirmed flat earthers. And they're also in some ways, truthers on other subjects. But we didn't want our kids to be forced to believe anything. We just shared with them where we were at and gave them some things and said, knock yourself out, check it out for yourself. And then we had discussions for a few months after that, back and forth. Well, what about this? What about that? And but all 4 of my kids, have a mind of their own. They're capable, as teenagers are very capable of doing all kinds of things. We just shared with them where we were at. So, they're all things and said, knock yourself out or check it out for yourself. At least we have 3 boys and a girl. Our oldest is about to turn 21, and then they're 2 years apart after that. So basically 21, 19, 17, and 15. And so, we have 2 young adults. One of those is in college. One of them's in the workforce. And then we have a almost senior in high school and almost junior in high school. So in 2 years or less, we'll have all of even our youngest kids will be graduated from high school, which will just make us feel that much older, I guess.
Older and definitely wiser and freer. You and your wife are so much freer, not just because your children will be on their own, but because you're free to speak openly about the things you hold close to your heart.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a relief, most definitely. I've worked in corporate radio, and even then, although I wasn't a truth seeker, if I didn't stay coloring within the lines of corporate radio, just playing records, I mean, that's what I was doing. And if I said something, and I'm not even talking about off color because that's not who I am, but just anything, if I brought up something that was in the newspaper, because I used to read newspapers back then, and everything was true. If I brought something up and gave an alternate opinion about something, I would get called into the office. And when I owned a clothing store, even if I owned it and ran it and was in that store every day, people would come in, and people are people, and most of them are wonderful. And then you've got the bad apple who later writes a review of your store that you were, you know, fat shaming her. I got a review like that once, only because she asked for a certain dress, and I said, I have it, but I'm going to give you a size up because the dress runs small, which it did, and I didn't want to go rip it. It wasn't because she was fat shaming, it was just, I know how the stuff runs. So you can't speak openly, really, in any sort of corporate world. And, you know, the church, in a way, that's kind of the corporate world too. And YouTube, of course, has its rules, being the corporate world as well, but those really only involve certain things. And as long as you don't violate them, for the most part, you're not going to get your channel wiped out. You know, you're not doing things that would get your channel wiped out. We are allowed, as of this second in time, to speak about you, God, to speak about flat earth, to speak about any of these other things we're interested in. But of course, they won't really let you get into anything involving children when it comes to any events involving shootings, etc. If you even breathe anything about that, your channel could potentially go. So we're not as free as we think we are, but we're freer than we know sometimes. And to use our channels as a pulpit, really, for truth, the way we personally see fit, it's a blessing. And you know, I know that you're probably much happier now because you're touching so many people's lives more than you used to.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because I preach the gospel of Jesus Christ, you know, every single week at the church, and you know, I still preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. And the interesting thing is that some folks have, you know, in the past, recent past, accused me of, you know, only being interested in flat Earth. But I told them, I said, hey, go to my channel. You'll see I have just regular sermons that are uploaded almost weekly.
Praise Bob.
Yes. And sometimes I just need to unplug for a few days and spend time with family. But, you know, I do still preach about, you know, salvation in Jesus Christ. And I message people and people message me. But like you said, I mean, we all have to, you know, we all have that opportunity, so long as they don't, you know, unplug everything from us to preach truth and the things that we're convicted about. And so, you know, I'd like to think that I'm really just the same person, Patricia, that I was before. I told people at the church, I said, hey, listen, I haven't changed. You know, I'm not some weirdo, you know, I mean, we're all weird in our own way, but I'm not some psycho, you know, like that's what I told people after Rick helped me do my first video on biblical cosmology from Genesis chapter 1. And it was entitled Creation Foundations. I encouraged everybody I could at the church to say, you know what, it's only 52 minutes. Watch the video and judge what you see based on how I present myself, what I share right from Genesis chapter 1 and other scriptures, and see that I haven't changed. I've changed my belief about the true account of creation and the nature of our world, but I'm the same Nate, you know, my family's the same, my wife's the same. And, you know, as you know, you would like for folks to judge you based on what you're actually saying and doing and what they can see for themselves rather than just what other people say. And so I'm sure we'll still have some opportunities with folks from church. More and more have reached out to us. And some people have said, man, I'm sorry I didn't reach out when you first got fired. You know, I was afraid. I was confused. You know, there was conflicting. And, you know, I was afraid to say something, right? Because I saw how you got hammered. And, you know, this is my home congregation. Like, I don't want to do anything to lose that, because many of the people in the church here have been in the Toledo area for decades. So a lot of the church members have been with this congregation, at least their families have, since the early 1940s. So, you know, we tried to just be understanding and say, yeah, it would have been nice to have your support, you know,
Yes.
like say the day I got fired. But you know what? It's okay. We're happy that you reached out to us, and we're more than willing to speak with you, answer questions, you know.
So when somebody is down and out, it is a good thing to reach out to them. And I know I've not always done it myself. We're busy, etc. And then some people are paralyzed by fear. I've even had people comment on my channel, and I've never seen this person, but they've written things like, I was always afraid of this channel before. I never watched it because I heard negative things about it. But now that I'm here, I've subscribed.
Yeah.
And so it's that same thing. Fear was put into that person. And it's a fear that should never have been put into them. It's back to the old gossipers again.
Yeah. And you know, the Bible says that perfect love casts out all fear, right? So if you have a perfect or complete love and honest love for someone, you're going to take that risk. And that's what I wish folks would have understood, is to say, yeah, you know, this seems like conflicting information, but if you love somebody, you know, take that risk. Ask them, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Can we meet together? Can we talk? Is there anything I can do to encourage you? Because if somebody, you know, was emotional and they blew you off, hey, at least you tried, right? But 9 times out of 10, the people are really hurting and they feel rejected. And you know, I had somebody fussing in a chat or a comment section recently, and they're like, "Oh,
all right, that's enough of that boring nonsense."
No, that's never, ever, 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 ever be the role of government. We need to know. I want to know. Yeah, we do need to know. We do need to know, Jim. But if there is something out there,
Well, I'm glad I can teach you about it. I'm just glad that 20 and 30 people were listening when I was talking about the SubGenius and the Discordian article. I'm glad that you guys got through that with me. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys got through that.
Above the earth. I mean, we see it. You see it out here. You experience it. You've seen cloudy days. You've seen rays come down, crepuscular rays. But anyways, the second one's got a sunspot. There's plenty though, and you know you're going to see other ones that aren't these two, but I can't guarantee that they're not using a GoPro lens. These two are not using a GoPro lens. Yeah, sure, it could be doctored. I don't know what the fuck anybody's benefiting from telling them that the world's flat. I'm not here to trick you people. I'm not here to trick anyone.
Yeah, you are.
We're tired of the trick, man. Tricking is how this whole thing happened, man. We're tired of motherfuckers lying.
Have you done the experiment at night?
Yeah, there's been some night launches.
Have you done it?
Can you explain to me one experiment you've done, sir?
Well, like I say, I haven't done any experiment, but I'm asking you. Have you?
No, I haven't sent. I don't want a hot air balloon. No, I haven't sent any hot air balloons up. I'd like to.
All right then.
All right, then what?
That's all I had to ask. There's no hidden meaning behind what I'm asking. I'm just curious.
Do you see the light rays on Karen's picture where they're coming in? Do you see the angles that they're coming in at?
It's just.
Well, she blasted pictures right up.
Voice text for everyone. The volumetric light, yeah.
Yes. It's actually a clip from that video on the 4th picture in that square of 4 pictures. That's from that 2nd video. It's used a lot.
let's see if anyone wants to talk on Discord real quick. You want to talk about flat Earth on Discord? Let's talk some flat Earth. Take my doggies for a walk. All right, let's do it. Going in voice chat. Any globies? All right, I'm in the voice chat, globies. Oh, phenomenon. Is that Elliot Hall? Yeah, I remember. Go ahead and actually, I don't need to talk here then, so I can mute myself because you already hear me. Anyone else wants to join? Go ahead and join. Hey, Dingle. Hey, what up, Dingle?
Oh, not much. What's up?
Chilling. Seeing if you wanted to engage in an intellectual discourse real quick.
Oh, I don't know. Go ahead. What do you got in mind?
Oh, man. Well, why did you feel compelled to join the chat room?
Oh, I just happened to see the message pop up on my screen. Hey, you a member of the SubGenius?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm an ordained minister, official member.
I live in the Cleveland, Ohio area. I've actually met Reverend Stang. He's the
oh, I know who he is. I know who he is.
Yeah, he is a hoot. He is an absolute hoot.
The Church of the SubGenius movie documentary just premiered yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
it premiered in Texas, and it's getting rave reviews.
He did like a little, little chat for a group, a meetup group here in Cleveland for us, and he gave us like the background history of him and his friends making this group, and he was telling how he was telling things like he had the CIA or FBI came in and investigated him to see if he was a real cult, and he actually tried to keep a straight face with these guys.
Oh, it's too funny, man. It's too real. It's too real and too funny.
Yeah, he was sitting. They came to his house. And the two FBI agents are trying to figure out whether this guy's real or not. He's like, dude, we're just comedians, man. We're just having some fun. But he kept it up as long as he could. See what they did. But yeah, it was a hoot. He says he actually gets people who think it really is a religion, and they actually like come to his doorstep and shit. He tries to keep his real address on the download.
Yeah, there's a lot of bobbies out there who take shit a little too seriously.
Oh yeah, holy shit! And then he was telling us the one guy from Devo, the group Devo. I don't know if you know who they are, but he's a member of the group.
Yeah, Mark Marosbaugh.
He hangs out. Right. And they go down every year to Southern Ohio, and they do this thing called X Days.
Yeah, that's the Devivals, the big Devival where the flying pleasure saucers are supposed to pick you up every year.
Right. Yeah, and they do skits and stuff and have a blast. And the group that they do it with are a bunch of the new age, the people that are into crystals and all kinds of woo-woo stuff. So they go down on a weekend where there's a whole bunch of people that are doing that stuff, but then they fit their stuff in with it.
Yeah, that's like Starfest, Starfest, or what is that? Starcade or Star Festival, something? Starwood?
Yeah. And it's just these people who are
they mix in with the pagans. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Really, and it's hilarious. And they do these skits. And the one year they used the Devo guy. They used him to be Bob, and they killed Bob.
Oh, so that was Mark Marosbo, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look familiar.
The big thing was, Bob was worried they used a gun to kill him. He was worried that they were going to shoot him. He was going to end up on the evening news. He really didn't want that. He had to make sure it was a fake gun. But then the next year they had to shoot him again. So as a savior, he has died for our sins twice.
Yeah.
He kind of one-ups Christianity. Yeah.
Always got to one-up Christianity.
Yeah, very
and Scientology, the most evil church in the world.
Yeah. They're hilarious. They're just absolutely hilarious. It's just a group of artists and friends and stuff. But he's a graphic artist. You can tell from the website. He just fell in love with all that stuff from the 50s and 60s, and he just has a blast with it. So I don't know. They're really.
Oh shit.
Illusion?
Oh, sorry about that. I'm actually, ironically or synchronistically enough, I'm actually live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
I'm holding a hangout about the Church of the SubGenius and Discordianism.
Okay. Yeah, SubGenius is definitely the way to go. I mean, if you're a pink and you're just lost in the world, it's the only way to go. It's the only way to go. And somebody was asking me the other day how you can tell which of the conspiracies are real and which ones are false. And the true answer is they're all real. They're just all real. You could never go wrong. You know what I mean? If you have any doubts in your mind, all conspiracies are true.
Yeah, I've met a lot of interesting people through the Church of the SubGenius. People who have hung out with Tim Leary and Robert Anton Wilson. It's just cool. It's just
it's a hoot, and everybody should send $20 to Reverend Stang so he can keep up his good work.
Yeah, the movie's definitely gonna create a lot of steam. I can't wait to see it. And
these guys have been doing this since like the 80s or 70s or something. They've been at it for a while.
Yeah,
it's
lifelong heretics.
It's like the slowest fucking cult in the world. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
slow.
The Slack was the cause of that, and we're never meant to get popular. That would be the end of the SubGenius.
Right. It's there's another cult out there that's kind of interesting. It's on I see the lady on Periscope. I think she also is on YouTube.
Yeah, what is it?
And she calls her cult the Unicult. Like unicorn, Unicult.
Yeah, the Unicult.
Yeah, and it's just it's basically a hippie version of a cult that doesn't really have a purpose or anything. The lady that runs it, she's out there. She's out there.
Does she make any money?
Yeah. She's really nice, sweet, everything. But yeah, she's living on an edge somewhere. Yeah. Very, very cool though.
The edge of the edge of the earth.
Somewhere out there. Yeah.
The edge of space.
She's not grounded in reality too much.
The director who Sandy Boone of the Church of the SubGenius documentary that just came out, she messaged me personally, and she's like, I would love to be in your flat Earth group, but she's like, I'm doing a lot of work for and I'm doing a lot of crazy work and a lot of different things, and she's like, although I do enjoy the posts that you, in the sources and the links that you post in your group, she's like, I just can't, because it would be too much of an investment for me. She's like, I can see myself getting addicted to your to the flat Earth stuff. And
flat Earth, there's some people who get into it. Like, I'm just an observer for it. I'm a rounder. I'm a glober.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely an observer to this. It's one of the most unique phenomena out there. It's really interesting, and it challenges my brain to sit here and listen to the flat Earth people. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
It just challenges me big time.
Well, it's interesting. I've noticed the difference between a SubGenius globe earther and a pink or a normal globe earther. And the SubGenius globe earther.
What's the difference?
Oh, the SubGenius. You're a SubGenius globe earther, and I.
So what is? Well, I mean, yeah, but what's the difference between that and a glober?
A regular scientism ball earther or globe earther is that they're usually just assholes and pricks and not fun to talk to. They're just they're like vampires. They drain your energy.
There's the one they feel they have to teach you.
Well, they don't have anything to teach. They don't have any. They don't have anything to say. They're literal fucking wind up dolls, NASA dolls.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like everybody to understand how the universe actually functions. That would be cool.
Oh, I would love to hear how the.
Until that time occurs, we get the entertainment of the flat Earth. You know.
Yeah. So, yeah, the entertainment and the education. Until there wouldn't be a flat Earth movement if globe earthers can prove the ball that they think that they live on.
Oh man, yeah, you're right. It's really hard to prove something to somebody without like putting them in a spaceship and throwing them into the vacuum. How do you actually go about it? Showing a person that the world is actually round.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It's a conundrum, because the average person, I can understand, 1,000 years ago, the average person didn't travel more than 5 to 15 miles away from their place of birth. It made sense, basically, that the world's flat. Okay, and that kind of made sense to everybody. I get that. 1,000, 2,000 years ago, that's all you got to work with. But today, I don't understand how anybody can actually have that today. I don't know why they, because you can travel much farther and you can get to experience the world a little bit bigger. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because unwittingly, at the same time, NASA and SpaceX has put out all of their little round Earth, ball Earth videos, cartoon CGI balls that are not real, actual reality depictions of reality. You can't take a picture of a galaxy or the universe. You could take a picture of you can have a simulation on a computer screen like that. That's the reality that you can have.
We stepped away from film, so everything everybody's got is pixels nowadays. They're not, they're ones and zeros. So nobody's taking pictures of film with film anymore. So it's like that adds the layer of, well, if it's just ones and zeros, then we don't know if somebody's messed with those ones and zeros. So now you can't prove that it's a legitimate image.
Yeah,
anymore.
But when you start listening to these supposed astronauts talk about their time in space and about how, like, if they can see stars or not, they can't agree on if they can see stars or not while they were in space. You can see their body language when they come.
Wait a minute. You're a flat Earth SubGenius?
That's my name, yeah, on YouTube.
Okay, and
well, that's the clench that I'm going to form. I'm in the process of forming.
Okay, I'm I'm having trouble with reality.
Good. The flat Earth subgeniuses, yeah.
Okay. So, in that mode of thinking, yes, the CGI that we create to fool all of you, it takes so much computing. So we couldn't really do it until recently because the amount of computing space it would require to create the CGI.
It's been going on for a long time. You know the Universal logo. You know the Universal logo.
Yeah.
That logo has been going on since 1927.
The original Universal logo, it was just a ball about 2 foot in diameter.
I know, but the thing is, if you look at the original Universal logo from 1927, the ball that we were just talking about, it's the exact same ball that they're spinning to this day that they put in the beginning of every single movie.
Right.
So how do they know that the ball was shaped like that before they went up to see the ball?
Well, you got to work with the classics. They can't. They can't drop the lie now.
No, that's the thing. They have to keep the lie going, and now all the other countries are joining in on the lie. Japan, China, Israel.
Initially, because the ability to do CGI was so time consuming, and you literally had to hand paint the image and all that stuff. So they had very few photographs. Now they can create CGI on the fly. And now you can get, a million photographs a day.
Disney, Walt Disney, Werner von Braun, Jack Parsons, Alistair.
Oh, they were Illuminati, weren't they?
They're all related to. Disney is related to NASA. Matter of fact, NASA has taken over Disney.
Yeah.
So now NASA.
Well, you know what? I truly want to be honest. The one thing I really liked Disney for is the fact that they were like ahead above everybody on robots. Some of the work they were doing with robots back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s was like so far ahead of everybody else. I mean, did you ever see like the Hall of Presidents? Those robots, do that. They do a little presentation each.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, the one they created for Abraham Lincoln was way ahead of its time. It could actually walk down a set of stairs. And the hard part at that time was to get the robot to not show how it was being connected to the equipment in the background, that was actually operating. So what they did is the robot had pneumatic, it was a pneumatic robot, and its feet would plug into ports in the floor. As each step it took, it had to put its foot right in the right spot to plug into the port so that it could then take the next step, disengage one foot, and then press it into the next. It's a very, very difficult thing to do for like the 70s. But nowadays, like freaking, what's that, General Dynamics can make a robot that can do backflips and shit.
Yeah.
But for the 70s, I mean, they were really way ahead of Disney. Really, you got to give them a head.
Oh yeah, Disney is totally mind fucking everyone every fucking day. That's for sure.
That's basically what Disney's business was.
It is.
His goal in life was to basically create the magic that everybody imagines should really exist.
Yeah, there's conspiracy theories that say Walt Disney was Adolf Hitler.
I don't know. They froze both of them, didn't they?
Well, no. Supposedly, Walt Disney was frozen in put in his castle in the 33 Club, and apparently.
You know what? I've never seen both of them in the same room, so they probably could be.
But yeah, it's interesting that I've
never seen them both in the same room together.
I think it's crazy that you didn't know the difference between a flat Earth subgenius and a globe Earth subgenius, but clearly there is a difference. Dude, I've met so many globe Earth subgeniuses that are just like you. They're just like, yeah, I'm a glober, and but like everyone who's a normal, like Bill Nye the Science Guy or Carl Sagan or Neil deGrasse the Rapist Tyson type of globe earther or an atheist globe earther. See, like they're just like they're just assholes. They're just like fucking irritating
Wait a minute.
Non
You're an asshole, damn it.
No, I'm not saying. No, that's the difference. Like you're clearly not an asshole, and you don't irritate me. And
I check mark all the boxes. I'm an atheist. I'm a Glober, and I'm a SubGenius. So how do I not be an asshole?
Because you are because it's the SubGenius part of it that makes you not it makes you not an asshole. That's why I think that the SubGenius religion is the best religion and the most honest. And
it saved me.
It's Bob saved you. Bob saved a few people in my personal life. I met family members through the Church of the SubGenius. No joke.
Oh, cool.
Missing cousins.
That's good.
Yeah, I talked to Philo and Ivan. They follow me on I correspond with them and talk with them, and I'm friends with them.
Cool.
And I want to interview them, and I want to go to the X Day, but I'm not sure if it's going to be in. They're deciding whether it's going to be in.
Or not. Well, I mean, with the movie, they may have to go to a different venue.
Well, they're thinking about
too much. Too much publicity.
They're thinking about moving it back to Texas.
Okay.
Because they have it every single year in Akron, Ohio, somewhere in the forest.
But it's the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, and
it's like really the middle of nowhere.
And it's not supposed to be some easy little fucking festival that you fairies go to and you're like, have a good time. It's supposed to be a SubGenius Devival event meeting for X Day that brings your experience points up. You level up in life when you do that. But supposedly, what's up?
You've got to pay for that next level. You understand that?
Well, if you're a SubGenius, you get a massive discount.
Right. But, well, they usually give you a discount in the afterlife too.
Well, I haven't taken it that far yet. But no, I mean, I've been making years about the Church of the SubGenius since 2015. And it's so interesting I've had my name officially on YouTube, the Flat Earth SubGenius, since 2015, and it's just so interesting how all of a sudden it's getting popular again, and it's becoming it comes every 5 years. It seems to do it. It comes and goes like every.
And him and his group, they find new ways of reaching out to his congregation and to create a bigger and better congregation. And I guess you got to keep it fresh, So I'm sure he's this movie. I'm glad you told me about this. I've heard about it a while ago, but you refreshed my memory that it was coming out. So that's good. I'm gonna have to go see it. It's out this weekend. You said
it just premiered yesterday, but you're only going to be able to see it in Texas.
Oh, well, will they create a YouTube or?
The distribution of the film right now is under question because the conspiracy is holding its ransom.
Oh God, I hate the damn conspiracies. They always fuck things up.
Yeah, so
why can't they design a conspiracy so that everybody wins?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's it's already out there. But where are you staying at these located at these?
I'm in northern Ohio.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ohio. I'm in upstate New York.
Near Cleveland, but not quite inside the stench of Cleveland.
Oh, that's interesting. So when's the last time?
Actually, Cleveland. I don't want to say that. Cleveland is a fantastic city. It really is. I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio, and I came up to Cleveland imagining it was going to be a shithole, and it's not. I mean, there's little shithole areas in it, but for the most part, Cleveland's an awesome city. It's way better than I imagined.
Yeah, this show worked out perfectly because my title is called "Chaos Magicians Spreading Misinformation About Discordianism and SubGenius Doc Premiere Update," and it's so funny.
We want to make sure there's no disinformation going on there.
Well, it's just so interesting that do you have Netflix at all?
Yeah, I've got Netflix.
There's a Flat Earth documentary trending on there. Have you seen it yet?
Oh, what, Behind the Curve or something?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, make sure you have a puke bucket next to you while you watch it.
Oh, okay. It's that good. I mean that. I mean.
So that's what I mean. Like like you may think that all flat earthers think alike, but just by me saying that, you should get a hint of that all flat earthers, just like all subgeniuses, do not get along.
Right, right. There's a couple I talked to here on Discord. There's oh god, I can't remember. The one is Debbie. I don't know if you know who Debbie is, but she's interesting. I don't know if you could get a whole conversation in with her, but I think that would be fun. I think you would enjoy.
Who's this?
A conversation.
Who's this?
And she, I forget what the name of that Discord is.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. Definitely share the Discord in the main chat room. Please do.
Okay, let me go see what the name of that.
Yeah, I definitely am looking for more SubGenius and Discordian groups. I would love to find more. Yeah.
Let me see if I can do it. And the chat room is in the main chat. I click on the main chat.
Yeah, yeah.
And, okay, now I'll go post one now.
Yeah. Go ahead, share whatever you want, man.
I'll create the link here. We're going to invite members. I don't know if that'll do it from that. It's called Debate Flat Earth and More or something like that.
Oh, I think I might be a member of it already, but a Debate Flat Earth and More. Yeah, I am a member of it.
And I want to. I just want to put it on my clipboard copy. Okay. Somebody's got L. Ron Hubbard displayed. Is that your? No, that's
not me.
Somebody in the other chat's got L. Ron. He's always ugly.
And
let's see.
And there's some weird shit like Alistair. Now, yeah, because Aleister Crowley and Jack Parsons were doing ritual sex magic, and that was before, and this was while JBL, Jack Parsons Laboratory, was going on, and somehow L. Ron Hubbard got involved, and there was an affair, and like there's Jack Parsons is there's just shit going on with Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, and fucking L. Ron Hubbard, and women, and an affair. Sexual magic and NASA literally is all tied together. Aleister Crowley's like angry at Jack Parsons for allowing L. Ron Hubbard into his group. That's how fucking. Oh, wow. That's how fucking fucked up L. Ron Hubbard was Aleister Crowley doesn't want you to be a part of the group. Like that's got to tell you something, you know.
Well, did you ever read the tell-all from his son?
Aleister Crowley's son?
No, L. Ron's son.
Oh, no, I haven't actually. No, but I'm interested in.
There's a tell-all book that he wrote.
What's it called?
That one's fairly interesting, eye-opening. Of course.
What's it called?
Leah Remy, third little show going on. But if you read that and then you see Leah Remy's show and stuff like that, gives you eye-opening into what's going on in that group.
By the way, I think the Church of the SubGenius is directly behind 4chan, Anonymous, and Q.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's just a lot of shit going on, but I appreciate you. What's your name, dude? I mean, you don't have to Dingle. I'll just call you
Dingle. I like Dingle because people they don't take me seriously with a name like Dingle.
All right. Well, so, I'm
pretty.
Yeah, I'm Dan, man. I'm Dan, man, the man.
I also get on Periscope every once.
Oh, okay.
And I go by the name Quantum John on that.
Quantum John. All right. Well, cool, man. Thanks for hopping in and talking to me for a little bit. I got to get some food in me, and.
Okay. Yeah. Must protein and hydrate.
Yeah. I got to get some water and food in me, and close this stream off. But I appreciate you stopping by, man. And we'll talk again soon. And praise Bob, man.
Alrighty.
Later, man.
Yeah.
Well, that was awesome. Cool. Just by happenstance, just through surfing the luck plane, Bob delivered me a SubGenius at my door in Discord. What a coincidence that is. And you guys got to hear the difference between you guys got to hear the first-hand difference between a globe Earth SubGenius and a flat Earth SubGenius. You got to see and experience the first-hand difference. I think that's wonderful. You know, I think it's great. So let's see here. Y'all use Discord for chat rooms? I've been thinking about fucking with that. Ethan Ross. Here, Ethan, I'll invite you to my Discord group. Here you go. Here you go, boss. Eat no longer. Think no longer. Let Bob do your thinking for you. You'll pay to have the wool pulled over your own eyes. All right, well, cool. I'm going to get out of here. This was a fun show. Make sure you check out the description box. Join my Flat Earth group, the League of Extraordinary Flat Earthers, or the Flat Earth SubGeniuses on Facebook. Join my Discord group that I just shared. And like, share, and subscribe. Should be over 1,900 subscribers by the end of today. And I should have 2,000 subscribers by the end of the month. That would be wonderful. Unfortunately, that probably won't happen. And I'll continue to have 10 to 30 viewers for the rest of YouTube stardom. Such a joke. Such a joke. There's so many stupid hoops and ladders, stupid things that you have to go through. Thanks, Thirst for Truth. I appreciate it. Fun show. I'm going to be getting some